Coffee. Yeah. Office caps. What? Eating Untitled Chapter. Go, monkey, go.
When the shark bites, her life don't moving like.
I'm just stabbing the part with this pen.
That's a legend, just get there for the weekend. I'll get you. I don't anywhere haven't.
Certainly don't.
I like I had coffee, so I wanted to just like one shake.
The DPs.
You get coffee and cheese.
Yeah, you're on there.
Turning it up. Okay. So this is about. Well, I'll tell you when it's over. Yeah. Okay. If you want to. Give you a clue. Liberty Bridge.
Throw you off.
Snaking along, endlessly growing and shrinking. It is truly mind-numbing. Oh, drat! I've been cut off again. It doesn't bother me that he didn't signal, nor that he came within inches of my car. What bothers me is the futility of his actions and ignorance to the fact that he is racing to a stop. This traffic will never end. Every time I move, the distance shrinks. Every time racing to a stop. This dungeon tortures its prisoners with themselves. In this dungeon, there is no air, and in this dungeon, there is no mercy. There's been an accident ahead again. It doesn't bother me that they forgot to get their cars out of the road before smashing them together. Nor does it bother me that someone's arm is on the median. What bothers me is the futility of me having to look at it, racing to a stop. Am I home yet? What's that? Never again? Oh, someone's screaming again. Get that mangled box of fleshy pinkness off the road and let's get a move on, darn it! I hate it when they scream at no one. That was about traffic.
Traffic.
We're the Pittsburgh Outcast Poets. We're a bunch of kids that do stuff on Friday nights that is like... I love it. No, okay. We meet Friday nights at the Carnegie Library in Squirrel Hill in the courtyard at 6 p.m. till like 9 p.m. whenever it gets dark. And we all sit around and criticize and read our stuff. So anyway, any questions about... Nope. Traffic. Okay.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Alright, this is from my first book.
Hey Ray. Hey Ray. Hey Ray.
I'll go next. I didn't pick anything out.
That's it. You can sit there.
Oh yeah, here we go. Good thing I wrote. Yeah. This is called 15-Year Regret. And it's from Monk Widget. Can you see the building shaking? Look at how the water's flowing. This is the last real collapsing time. Coltrane and Miles have finally come to collect, to take us all out, to show us how to really get down and party. Evolution style, annihilation style. This is the prime time. This kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff Darwin dreamed about.
I'm taller than everybody. I'm the most unorganized person ever.
Hey, Shan. Hey, Shan. Shan, just watch. Don't step in. Just. That's good. That's good.
I'm the number one contender. It's like, this is a blue corner. Way big. Oh, wait. Oh man, I can't. I have to bring both hands.
He doesn't have anything.
You can just bend it down.
Ah, there it goes. Genius. One of man's finest creations. Bendy things. Yeah, I'm KK, I'm not sure. That was Shannon, it's up to you guys, so that's Ray. I guess I'll do that. And, yeah, I don't write about things, I stutter and, I stammer and, stuff, and it's written in poems, so it's hard to translate. Alright, this poem's called Up, Down, Left, Right, B, A, Select, Start. Yes. Okay. Run, dodge the bullets that are flying at your head. Aim up and receive the prize from the cannon that could not fly. Ever. You know the one. Jump. Shoot. Don't let blue get too far behind or you'll push him off the screen. Wall of death time. Big guns and bombs and tar bats. Look, at first look hell. I would turn my tail and run. But with weak points as big as 10 men. What's up with that? Why do all aliens have weak points that blink? Try to take over the world. They're all doomed. Why? Oh, why? So it's about Contra, the video game. The best game ever. Oh, my eyes gonna pop out of my skull. I was so nervous.
GM, please call 221. GM, 221, please.
Okay, hold on. This is called Beauty Sacrifice. And beauty was found sacrificed inside a plastic bag. And beauty was sacrificed with the presence of the plastic bag. A plastic bag, my plastic, your plastic, all the plastic bags. And no, this isn't a fairy tale. It didn't start with once upon a time, it is now. And it will not end happily because it's supposed to, but merely because it is allowed. Number 1. She was beautiful, and she is grounded in the acute magical sense of sight beauty. She is always detained, but she knows not the meaning of that word, for her love abounds the precise nature of time. Rooted verily in the ground, she will stand until she can no longer hear the sky preach freedom. She has stood before, she stands now, and she will stand again. And her followers, her lovers, her life fighters, pray and yearn, cry and write against possible inevitability, that she will be cut down. And the day comes that lovers have lost their virginity to protect against. But it happens, and the world's demands scorch her breast, and she is torn from her roots, taken from her mother, falsely orphaned. And she is dragged up to a hill and cut. She was sacrificed with nails and saws, and she was stood up, her dead body still firm as in her life. And she arose, dead unwilling, and she was a cross. She was the cross. She was beauty sacrificed, to hold another sacrifice beauty, body, beauty, Jesus, body. 2. She is tree, she is beauty, she is cut down. She is taken to a hill and pierced with nails, twice as many as Jesus. She does not cry out, pronoun she can be replaced with he, it matters not. She is nailed in the form of a cross. She will hold Jesus while he is tortured with nails. She was alone when tortured? No, she laid on mother. She will absorb, hold, be stained and bloodied by Jesus' blood. When Jesus cries out, O Father, why hast thou forsaken me? She must remain silent, because God also remained silent. And when Jesus breathes his last breath, he is taken down out of her arms. He is wrapped, oiled, incense, and buried. She is taken and burned. Resurrection for man, 3 days. Resurrection of God, mother, tree, green, energy, beauty, instantaneous. And 3 days later Jesus arose from the dead. He walked among people, so that with their eyes they could see that he was eternity, and with their hands they could feel that he was infinite. And when the flint sparked and the twigs under her body gave way to flame, she too took turns changing with the fire. She was on fire, her body turning to charcoal. She was a burning bonfire, but she was still beauty. And instantly burned, she arises back into the universe and the cosmos and the heavens. And she was reincarnated as the wind. She flew as a breeze amongst the leaves, and they did not need her beauty to recognize it was she, for they felt her energy and recognized her universal touch as well. And she was never remembered until now. She was not martyred, Mother never is. Sometimes I'm sorry that Mother has never been martyred, but then again, swords, guillotines, war, knives, guns, bombs, bayonets, cannons, axes, nooses, electric chairs, lethal injection, rape, bludgeoning, beating, punching, kicking, are not a part of her world. Her world need not have her be sacrificed in order to have her remembered, because she will never be forgotten. She is eternity.
Oh, yeah. Imagine me wearing a red bathrobe. Oh, yeah. This is called There Are No Words. The great paradigm crash of the new millennium caused by the terrible what to say virus showed us all what poor beliefs we invested ourselves in. Sincerely taking stock in ideals that could all fall so easily to adultery, only heaven could keep many of us black marketeers at work, afloat with hope, one of the shakiest of investments once we found it too was lost. In the mad scramble that followed, millions of transcendentalists were caught in slamming doors, poor spirits in whores' bodies. Nothing seemed certain, but nobody could find nothing to invest in, believe, and be relieved and live. Laughing strangers led us to believe that perhaps they knew, but whatever that lie was ineffable, too unspellable for the Dow Jones to market, except perhaps as art, we'd hoped. So after a long depression, which all the angels slept through peaceful, true products were mass-produced for mass consumption, and in time even I forgot and grew to invest more wisely than in ideas of youth. Still, the rumors persist of braver economists than I, economist saviors with endless smiles that seemed immune and perhaps soon would be captured and featured as creatures we can consume, turned out blindly bound into religions for the appetite of the numerous. The million falling quiet since the great paradigm crash is right now.
Make knows a lot of knowledge.
I kneel before this typewriter named Lover in my opened-up, bare-chested, button-down white shirt, writing and typing is writing all the same. And I search for beauty inside, trying to find the letters to make words, arrange an expression, designed as a sort of confession to you, the reader, and myself, the reader, to you. And in that, the process that exists right now, that serves to express something which lies behind my eyes, within my chest. But everything is glazed and glossy, slick and vapid. From the liquid sheen dripping of her glassy eyes to the sullen, sweaty contours of my face, even the withered sinew of my haggard chest, within lies my heart thumping, just a muscle after all, or something more, something intangible, something no words could possibly describe, something inside, dreamed by gods drinking sunshine, living and laughing in delight of the madness that rips us up on sweaty, drunken sidewalks, makes my lungs twist, my stomach churn, and that heart yearn for a liquid love to fill it up. I loved a near before not made of metal, ink ribbon, little laughing keys, lonesome lifeless without me. Just as I am lonesome lifeless without he, she, others as well. I love that I scream through these keys, pounding them till they stick, because love is not a whisper, it's a scream to make your eyes glow.
I like the little kid. Where'd he go? He can stay, because we scream in the middle of...
Back when I was happy, and it's called Paul. She was a ruby-haired, dancing pixie girl with my heart and two sterling silver rings wrapped around her pinky finger. And I was a punk rocker in a red and black bondage shirt and boots that were way too small, shouting cliches and poems by Allen Ginsberg and spouting 3 a.m. caffeine-studded rip-off love poetry, just to turn her head in my direction. I was jumping up and down, screaming, and I want eternal embrace. And she wants fluffy clouds and astroturf inside a rundown apartment building full of hyphens and anorexic dance majors and inside jokes. Despite 5 billion inner demons and an ex-boyfriend with a 35 Magnum, we clung to invisible star beams and we made iguana collages and we whispered love, baby, love in each other's earlobes. And each weekend, It was a repetition of paint thinner and alcohol abuse and tissue-thin floors, and 2 days seemed like 9 hours, and that 9 hours seemed like 3 seconds. And her sisters would laugh gaily as she scrubbed bloodstains out of the third-floor bathtub, and I apologized for a nickel-sized hole in the right knee of the pair of blue flannels.
That elevator there, it just like opened up. Really scared. Wow, that's like 8 this morning. I'm still calm.
Archives to go. Ready to get spilled?
Yes, I am. When I heard Dylan speak of shallow angels, I knew he had mastered me. I was weak with wanting something more, desire fueling my movements, forcing me to follow images that dropped from the page and past my stained fingers. I stood on the edge of the cliff, refusing to face the pool or the fall in front of me. I was proud of my passing cruelty and ability to stay untouched, trying to believe the fire was doing more than playing my tormented music, trying to believe I was Joan of Arc. Searching out signs of the divine, I didn't have visions. I just wanted to be recreating Cassidy. I wanted to be wild with words and wanderlust, burning so bright the sky was scarred and restless. But I became stranded with Rimbaud in Africa and disillusionment, challenging boys to beat me so I could be bruised and bloody and better than beautiful, as if ink and ugliness could save me from my sanity. I strove to become the dirty old man Minkowski had spilled across the page, but succeeded only in becoming strange and strong and separated. And I failed to exist outside my mind, unable to comprehend conversation. I would stutter and stammer, faltering on the translation to language. I seemed to speak more with my hands than my mouth, so I made myself a martyr instead.
Everybody was at the poetry reading last night, heard me complaining about a man playing a saxophone. And I wrote a poem about him. You weren't even there, buddy. Yeah. Right, okay, this was in a church in Oakland, on the corner of South and Lee. I was in a church, and it was supposed to be a poetry reading I was going to. When in turn, this guy just got up there and played the saxophone for a little bit. You know, he was scheduled to play, and then he played for about 45 minutes. And then he said, well, wow, I've been playing for this long. And I know you guys have been here for poetry, but I'm going to play for another half hour. And I about killed him, but I wrote some good poetry about him. And since we were in a church, there's a bunch of stained glass with angels. So, and this poem is very Kerouac inspired. If you guys will, you'll probably catch it. And it's called Us Some Blues. Tenor, alto, mix, sax. His out-of-tone wildness and carefree whispers spat from the corners of his lip, jabbing fingers, immediate, sharp, crazy, up, in, down, craning his neck and hips in one manner. Crouching with his horn, you can hear this jazz notion. The flapping of his keys, and they almost make their own song, like angels' wings would had they flown this day. In from the stained glass atop every pew and organ pipe, across altars and tabernacles, in and out of robes, lighting up the confessionals overtop this lonesome magician, who didn't give a damn about anything except for punishing his keys and horn, sopping up his whole lapel. Because he has his angels playing their keys and doesn't realize how alone he is until he applauds and cries for one final hurrah, and he still ain't no jazz man to me.
Fear. My fear.
Of deer.
No, my fears. You'll find out. I'm fearing being sick in the head. Uncontagious jealousy caught from the air, meant for only me. I fear the paranoid sickness I get from not knowing what will happen. How will I feel? Not that it's painful, just scary.
I invite pain over fear. I'm afraid of fear itself, the phobia of being afraid. Inside caving walls, cement blocks. I had the headache, but where did this come from? This scares me. What if it's the aneurysm of paranoia, hemorrhaging the cement walls, constructed to guard my own fear? One time I was sitting in a play, closed inside a cubicle chair, in the dark, listening to actors sing into a harmony that almost transcended me. And then, to my horror, it did. It tranced me with a collapsible fear. I guess the happiness was so overbearing when they were singing, and I know that I can't have that. And the happiness made me more depressed, and my comprehension snapped back, giving the fear an opportunity to position its post. The rest of the night, I knew the fear and I acted in response to it. I felt drunk in fear. I recognized nothing as I had before. I'm now recovering, and I want to be happy regardless of a meaningless existence. It's strange that I opened knowledge of a fear I never knew I was capable of. Before I took the drug of fear, I never had to be afraid of fear, but now I'm always looking behind me to see when I'm going to remember it again. I hate it. Another time, I felt cold microscopic dots appearing and then sinking into my legs while I was running. I can't remember where I was going, but I must have eaten ambrosia salad or something. I often get this cold warmth in my cheeks when I eat cheese or cultured dairy products, but it never happens in my legs. The leg episode has only ever occurred once that I know of, but who knows what time has elapsed that I never accounted for. Time will move, but I may lay still without it. Sometimes, when I arrive from sleep unexpectedly, it's as if, while under, the whole world passed by 1,000 years, and the countries are all in different spots, their languages evolved, and the thief in my recurring dream has caught up to me and is standing directly behind me about to strike. But I just woke up, so he freeze frames his striking hand above my head, my sleep halo protecting me. I think there's some scheme going on with me blindfolded in the center aisle. Nothing can be written down for sure because as soon as I find something out, he begins to brainwash me and give me feelings of security. But I know better than to trust hungry. Something inside me is always empty. But no matter where I am, I'm sleeping, so I'm in a constant civil revolution with him, or me, or whomever is running the film up there, in my head. There are many different embodiments of people, but I get the same out of all of you. Only what I ever need comes out of you. That's why I'm here. It's all for me. So I'll feel comfortable to get away from my real thoughts. I don't talk to me when I'm outside, and it's such a recreation for my head. I don't want anyone to really know who I am. I hide behind lies and disfigurements on an impulse. But you're hiding too. Where is everyone? Fear comes seeping in again. God, give me pleasure. Thank God for the pleasures I feel, for water slipping and swallowing. These in life give hope, incentive. Pleasure is a ray moonbeam frisked on the floor in a pattern to lay in. There's no empty space in pleasure. It's all there, but you can't see it. Full tight, packed with energetic bonding, moving so fast that you stand so still. Gotta think, gotta think. So fear has no space to intrude. Think, thinner, getting thinner by the moments I think for a half the time. The air comes weaker and smaller, and tinier droplets of wisdom fly light around my brain. The more I try to think of words, the more they do not give me their blessings. But we must wait for God. We must let patience answer words' wisdom and design our meaningless ink splotches as print on page. Only God can provoke thought. But the white is God too. I will sit and be still for God to come. Meanwhile, I'll have randomly plague outbursts of soul tide. I just like these words. Must they have meaning? Waves go up, then down. They don't wait for you to measure them. We don't have time for you to research their depth. We just want to transfer the feeling to you. Read and digest. Read and digest. Don't dissect. I'm telling this to myself because I overanalyze everything. Questions are good, but belief is better. Space is the crazy tide. The moon pulls at me from opposite ends. The underworld below lengthens my life just as heaven does. When I slouch, I don't feel as big. I like that. Maybe I'll slouch permanently. Although slouching makes creases, and these are passages for fear. But now I feel that a little fear is what I need. A car crash would feel so nice, somber and real. I want the realities to hit me like a broken windshield. I want the hard glass Chardonnay, because it's real. A car crash would be so much fun. I want to live that close to a fear because it's outward pain, not like a demon in your head. A car crash isn't symbolic, it's danger. Next door neighbors with the Antichrist. This is more of exhilaration than fear. A spinning and shattering car crash. I can't wait to crash, to give up all control, and just fly into a wall. I live for realities uncertain and unrequested. Lord, dismiss useless fears. Amen.
I can do a really good impression of a salesman. Have you ever found yourself sitting around the house thinking random thoughts that you can't put to use at all? Have you ever found yourself jotting things down in a little notebook that you just carry around with you? Well, if you think that you might be a writer, or you just like to put thoughts on paper, join us at the Friday night poetry reading at the Carnegie Library in Squirrel Hill at Forbes and Murray at 6 o'clock. That's Sundays. I'm flying high and soaring above, then dying as I profess my love for she who cares not at all for me, or even the thought that yearns for she. It is just circumstance, an emotional withdrawal, such a wicked dance, this siren's call. How I pity foolish me, who wishes for things that can never be. Inside this self-tormented mind, beating each beat within this rind, is a repressed and beaten heart, longing deeply for her to start an affair of love, lust, or passion, something besides my daily ration of denial and teasing, in playful fun, pretending that I could be the one, just for a moment, then moving along, continuing to walk as I sing a song. Every time it ends in the exact same way. We leave and I wish to stay, and sneak on in for a surprise kiss, but what if all goes amiss? What if? What if?
And this is my dog. I thought I'd share that with you today. Jerk. Here's something I never read out loud before, and this might be a little bit of a shock. It's something about a girl. I don't know if you've ever heard people write about girls. Open-ended Sunday night. Another one soaked up in malt liquor and piano notes. The phone barely rings. There's dust on all my books. You're not here. It doesn't seem like you will be either. All the reason and rhyme of it go away. Painful memories take the place. Dyeing hair, drinking beer. We kissed in the living room when there was no furniture. The things I missed tossed aside. All my broken parts fixed with alcohol. The light burns up my eyes now. I pick it all up and work on it better tomorrow as my Monday starts. I think of you. Turn off the light and wipe away the tears. There's nothing I wouldn't do to see you smile for me again.
My man. Alright, this is about my favorite subject. And not eating, Shannon, like you think. It's about Mega Man. Mega Man, Mega Man, Mega Man. Okay. Who got the Mega Man? Right there. Great. Okay. You are the super fighting robot. Your blue chrome and embers rock my world. In the year 20XX, Dr. Wally had not a chance against you and your high-flying dog. Take my power and use it against my brother, because you might have been rock to them, but you're mega to me. Yeah! Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen at all. Oh, my stuff. I keep it. Becky just comes over and kicks me over. Go away, boy. Yeah.
Okay. Principal perspectives lost in the common language of poetry, describing that which we see all the better because those who love words see with letters and speak with rhyme. And when rhythm comes, we placement plaque the time into sentences and frames, until we become someone we are not, until we become great writers, with the talent of a first-time lover, good because it's never come before, but in retrospect of our next great dance with words, we remember how good we thought love was before we knew what the next one was like.
Okay, I believe you. Really lonely right now.
Is anybody feeling lonely out there tonight? This is a haiku. It's the first I've ever recited, and I just lost the place. Okay. This was written today, that's why I'm reading. It's the most recent thing I've got. Eye of an airplane, threading the white needle through a white patient glass. That's as long as haikus are.
No, he takes one.
It's called Astronaut. The signs are everywhere. The walls of his character have shrunken considerably. She wants him to be a brave astronaut, denied dock on the nicest planets and afraid to touch down around unknown parts of space. He's been taught to feel the Queen's throne is more important than the Queen, a place more permanent than a pretty face you can't go back to. She tells him Earth is doing well, but there are other worlds out there, and on the day he's denied permission to scrap his mission and come home, the radio breaks, and he's alone, save a single chimp named Terra Firma and a billion distant worlds.
There's a monkey in it. No,
Monkey.
everything I read is about monkey.
Well, I think I want to have
Even if you have to incorporate it on the spot, put monkeys every tone. Yeah, everything on my stuff. Sassy?
Okay. This one's I'm still working on it. It's like draft 5. It needs a lot of work and stuff, but I don't really know too much else.
Written backwards.
Yes. Read it. Anyway, here goes. That doesn't apply to anything. Why can't I write poetry like Ginsberg or Kerouac? Prose like manic magic. Where's my neocasting to inspire words that just read but scream inside your head? Because you have no choice. Your heart beats fast, faster, skips, jumps. Nerves rattle like boxcars. Your veins feel hot and skin. Your blood sloshing, flowing from the circulatory maze like a gallon of wine through a straw. You're drunk instantly. You can almost taste the savor. The words race through the hallways of your brain like monkeys on speed that you chase and chase. Like love, but with a different kind of passion. The base animalistic fury within your reptile brain, the lizard king slithering on legs and sides, rattled by words hit just right, howls, growls, screams, frantic frenzy, penetrating your consciousness. You're never ready for such a beautiful assault. An assault unleashing more poet's fires. You fell inside your heart, under your skin, giving you that tingling feeling, and yes, oh yes, you want to scream. It's almost unbearable to read, because those tiny little spider poets make their way to your fingertips, and you just have to find a way to those keys. But I find rides across the pages of Ginsberg, Kerouac, on the outside looking in, shambling after those that interest him, but these are my words, not his. My words choking on self-conscious desperation, these are my words, and despite my wide-eyed passion, this is me choking. This is me choking on the road to perfection, perfecting the words I attach to my physical mess inside my chest, inside my head. Choking on dust of passing cars, cars passing my level thumb, cars full of poets. The road to perfection won't end until death, and I'm choking, but I can still see my soul in these crooked streams of light. Like the face of God I can't imagine, haven't seen. I wonder if people shape Kerouac like face of his. Jack who I've been chasing all along. This stranger, this writer, this muse, this corpse. Maybe chasing is the right word. But like looking for a reflection in a cracked mirror, for validation, for anything. Any beauty I can somehow relate to. But I'm still choking in that road to death or perfection or something, anything, unless these are railroad tracks leading my back instead of my rucksack. But it doesn't matter, nothing matters, because I can't change a thing. I lean over and vomit a pile of unsure words, and I'm not choking anymore. I look up, I see you, my muse. It is the blank white sky. Can I get a ride, I ask? Sure, you say. Just want to get as close as I can to some kind of meaning. Ever told you how much you remind me of Neil Cassidy? Ever told you how much you remind me of Jack Kerouac? Words reminded us of Ginsberg. I don't know if I get the road a bit. By the way, who the heck are we? I forget.
Yeah, it does get a little crap. Just pull my bar bag.
This is the first time I've read poetry in front of my parents. I think this is the first time they've heard most of it. They're behind you. And I think this is the first time they've heard most of my poetry. So I think it's a good thing they're sitting down.
Hey, don't worry, my dad's been taking all the borders readings. Oh, so much blackmail right there. Does that mean he's there?
What camera? Where?
We're gonna do the traveler or something.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't have a title, and I just rewrote the ending like 15 seconds ago, so here we go. When we're joyful, our volcanoes cool to mountains, no smoke but still green souls hover around our sweet blue orb, dancing iridescent over India, oceans, America, etc. Souls which sift in through women's thighs and scream from the separation of incarnation, individual manifestation, inarticulate in our independence, immobile outside our dance, inside bones and autonomy. Eventually, we are taught to stifle our howls, to be lonely. We learn to cry quietly. But we one day look around and untangle the snakes from our Eden, and we see blue, swirling souls smiling at our insanity, still dancing indistinct. And honeysuckle seeps into our air as invasive as the whisper of reality that we drown out in joy as peacefully we die, or at least wail, entering, exiting, and in the space between death and birth, in the nameless kaleidoscope we spend lifetimes craving, we finally, silently enter our private universal gardens.
Which one of those readings? Yeah, if we're gonna play music, we ought to play After the Flash by My Life Joe Kilco.
Sweet Home Alabama. That was pandering right now.
Alright, I just wrote this right before the poetry reading. It's called A Poem I Wrote Because You Can't Have Any Fun with Jason Kieran in a Bookstore. Now, I'm facing a number of barriers. I have to watch my mouth. I have to make sure no one gets upset. I have to not play with the monkeys and not insult or corrupt or etc. And I have to bridge the gap between you and me and get you to understand that I spent last night making choices you probably never faced and fell asleep alone again. And if I talk about Eaton Park and sadness and Cuervo, you're not going to get it, and that's my job. But at least I don't have to raise my voice.
That's going on spot, boy. I read my poem out for Terry when I'm sleeping.
I wrote this earlier today. Requires a little bit of background explanation. A lot of the people here are leaving soon. Jason, one of our best friends ever. John, our pet people? A lot of people. And,
I'm not going anywhere. You're going, Shannon.
And today, I'm leaving as well. And today, a couple of people gave me going away presents, and it really hit me. And so I wrote this. It's dedicated to everybody who has been my friend. And yeah, so it's raining. Not hard, the way John once described my handwriting. Just a soft drizzle. The sky is only mimicking the storm. We've come full circle in this place of words and wisdom and failing childhood. We never claimed to know much. We were just burning our way through these tired days with dreams and drinks and poetry. 5 years since someone patted the ground beside me, them and told me to pull up a rock. 5 years since we started down this path, cutting a scar across the city we refused to admit we loved. Instead, we spat our passions at lands we could only imagine, conjuring them with our desires and our pens, truly mightier than the sword. Time has escaped its steady continuum, for a minute at least, letting us drift back to the beginning of our days, whether it was here or in our minds. It seems we've always existed together, until now, until this point of the path where our roads diverge in a gray evening. All of us take a lesser-known way, each of us finally finding ourselves out of the world of our childhoods and into the places we've only dared whisper about in our previous lives, watching with sinking understanding as our passions lead us closer to ourselves and farther from each other. Farther from the nights that we spilled ink on placemats when we left promises for tip because we could barely afford the coffee. The sky's black here, and it's without the stars we've always watched together. Nights when we shouted from rooftops, fell off rooftops, discussed God.
Oh, nice going.
Discussed God or decadence or desperation, all of which seem to go hand in hand.
We didn't understand ourselves or even really each other, but our coexistence gave us what we needed to survive nights in the gutter or days in the half-days that seemed to accompany the transition from playground to passion, sometimes intermixing the two, creating the times we held on to long after they had passed beyond love's allowance into this place, into this time, when our friendships transcended time and took us to a different place, and following our own roads now, conjuring our separate worlds, and it seemed such a simple separation. We all saw it coming. But the skies understands the sanctity of this moment and the solitude of this goodbye that we don't want to say. So it's raining outside, not hard like my handwriting, but soft and solid, and I'm dying in here because I don't know how to tell you. I'm sorry, I'll miss you. I love you. Goodbye.
This one's also for ghosts, but it doesn't have anything to do with being away. So, just got a lot of things in it. It's all really self-explanatory. I'm not really big on metaphors in this poem. So. I've been writing it for about a month and a half now, and this is draft number 8 of part 1. So, it's still going. This is how it all works out. Life. In the deliberate way our intelligence eludes us in the drawn-out, overdrugged, passionate intent of teenagers, fueled by a resolute dream to get higher than themselves, yet no longer may be spiritual, mental, or religious. Drowning internally, our muffled cries become smothered. Long ago, in a languid state, we felt hope, we felt glory, we held the reasons and just might-be's, the possibility to denounce that which has now happened. An overwhelming sense of ignorance in one mind that is the microcosm of teens, that has reached its final torpid state among society, whereas hope is now unwilling to help. Exposing our genitals to oncoming traffic and hope that somewhere far off the gods, our fathers, will not shun us in our nakedness, will care for us, drawing blood and stitches on local cops and kicking our ways into the asylums, into straps and restraints, unwanted catheters and attempts to rape nurses. Brothers who could sing familiar songs and not break the walls of acid hallucinations, and never stopping the trance, hoping unwilling fathers will no longer damn the concept of caring. Dropping off like flies, no longer collapsing veins, but collapsing hearts, the whole heroin intruding the conversation between kids passing out in phoneless tears and wild step races, crying on shoulders of friends who know nothing of the sorts. Social needs become paternal unwants, and bedrooms become death traps, and the ancient desire to become like something else, to be the metamorphosis of this generation. Dancing through city streets on Bukowski benzodrine, alcohol abuse, every brick roof and scaffold, and the single insistent fall in the generation of poets. We ceaselessly scream at the game, not only leashed, but fenced in as well. A constant underage hitchhike for the sake of getting snatched up by rapists and pedophiles, to squeeze in among the positivity, that which we force ourselves to enjoy. We read Kerouac to achieve visions of Cassidy, for our reverent heartthrobs, for of course our reasons and junk, for fix, for whispers, for wine-drinking suck-off type girls shadowing the back-storm cement house alleyways, allowing men to use their mouths for masturbation, for a quick score of hash, booze, or just the pleasure. Confusing music with pipes and pipes with destitute, convincing ourselves as poets that the beats had the right idea for it all. We pull ourselves with their words all the way down to the last strain of ink and blood, tears and injections, smoke and pacifism, tin cans and locomotives, or crazy reasoning. Backdash, flatbed trucks pulling us to the fields of kegs and protagonists, magic trick from hobos, flower sellers, children running wild up and down the street. Rapid drinks, mad poets, placid scenery, and the feeling of infinite. Drinking harsh whiskey as careless drunks, closet full of empty schooners, lusting fulfillment, love degrading, kids with guns, parents with broken dreams, the hearts once upon a time Neil Young could soothe, no longer can scratch the surface of. Pollution sunsets, ubiquitous feeling of coked out, cracked out, malevolent lifestyles, punk rock solitude, gothic repose, a room full of black horoscopes, dark and desolate kisses, large men with an attitude for little things. The definites in barred cages, leaving no wink or goodbye, standing doorless in our passion when we simply drink away the pain of a broken heart. For those who know true destination is hell, slammed by priests in white robes, bearded wine cup christening the holy water, hiding booze in tabernacles, 10 times shouting for unclothed women, in a crack haze screaming Jesus, 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 and how hilarious it was. Those tarot in parks and homosexual themselves over coffee and love and cigarettes, and the endless island ride beyond 1, 2, and 3, or Nazi themselves in tormented milk chaps, laughing in retort of absolutely nothing, coming home from Phoenix, from New York, from Swissville, to stop raging holy mothers' entrapment in the torpid mess of Catholic drug case. We are your children are on drugs, and we will not stop it. We cannot stop it. Our inevitability is that we have no say in destruction unless anarchy unfolds between our own two hands, until we join the wretched mass and be accepted in the big H ecstasy exposure, screaming whys, howls, and nevers, only finding our own ignorance is the cause of our pandemic children, and they hope no longer will the streets burn them alive, no longer will society retort. Our hope is their lives, and their need is our Great Depression. Banging forth and back between wishful thinking and irreverent memories, confined between city lights, defecated alleyways, whiskey boot, belt buckle saloons, urination gutters, washed over spilt beers and exasperated poetry that we spat and shat out, shouting from corner to corner every week, every night, experiencing heavenly town and rich money-flogged gluttonous wastelands that lowers our psyche to a crimson stain on the brick wall of vacations. Pretentious, underpaid originality spouting from fake beach to bell tower to miniature replications of sacred towns in a prison with golden bars.
Beat that!
None of my poems have titles, but this one actually does. It's called Shiitake. She takes me home, melts you in my membranes. My head is open. I can't write anything without including love. I'm in a sexual angst with everything I see. My romance is with the ground. Whatever I see whatever is connected to the ground are body parts I use to masturbate. I feel good to the touch. I like her purple face. I'm stroking her fleshy insides. She has nice sunsets. When her eyes close, the sun goes down. Yes, seems that I'm commonly in love. Seems that is all that I am. In love with nothing. A bundle of too much faith that falls in love easily. I forget easily, too. I forget who I'm in love with. I just shout to the air, I'm in love. Seems that that's all that I am. A brain that dreams sex better than that body can play it. Give my hands a deck of cards, but my brain sucks on a lollipop. This world is beautifully naked. I'm watching an actress's undress. It's methodical and deliberate. Not like trash or selfish closet fondling. No, this is marital, ceremonial sex.
Great applause. Wonderful. Now you've all already heard the best of me, and like any relationship, I guess this is the point where you start hearing the spitting in the sink, and this is my breath in the morning, and this is the stuff that's crumpled up in the corner, and it's really not brilliance if you ever open it up. Yeah, doesn't everybody?
Disgusting.
Oh, I forgot there's always the floor. It's called the open window. Morning is heaven's aviary. The cat's desire must be some an ancient memory which brings us the cold. Excites the tight-lipped moth and makes dark circles that once stood eyes. The drawn and dusty blinds waft side to side with anxious faces. His cat pounce and notices his spine as the backstage goes to the show. The sound of birds remains a promise with each day's dawn and their cries. The stalk from the sea by the river like a story believed for one to cease the one. Believe despite the mixing, because such a voice is to be.
I just graduated from high school, thank God, and I was sitting in European history one day and thinking how much more interesting it would be if everybody was naked, because we all looked pretty bored. So I decided to write about it instead of actually do anything about it. So these are the naked haikus. Naked people are lumpy. Their beauty lies in their imperfections. Naked people are animal-like, vertebrae exposed to the air. Their imperfections, lumpy. Their beauty lies in naked.
It's okay.
Naked to the air, animal-like people are vertebrae exposed. Exposed vertebrae, their naked imperfections are lumpy people. Animal people are like beauty in their lives, naked to the air.
That's great, yeah, like, never can really pull up that's the awesomest thing ever. You take over the world and make everyone's eyes, like, tattooed on their eyes, and they always see that. Or, you know, not.
No. Steal my candy.
Where that came from, yes.
Upstairs. This is a tongue twister. Nobody writes tongue twisters anymore. Dude, I love this one, and I'm just gonna have more soon. It's just they don't all have. So yeah, it's like I got one with only like 3 words in it that don't start with the letter P. And it's like a paragraph long. So I try something else, and I have to use and so many times that it doesn't work. But hey, I'm gonna say this 3 times, and everybody else in the store can try and say this 5 times fast. And if you can, I will buy you some of those chocolate balls they have up there in
We have a deal, sir!
up there in the cafe. So pop. Perverted prostitutes presenting. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Paisley pixies and perverted prostitutes presenting proposals in pink pantaloons promenade passively in perfect parallel proximity past Point Park. Paisley pixies and perverted prostitutes presenting proposals in pink pantaloons promenade passively in perfect parallel proximity past Point Park. Paisley pixies and perverted prostitutes presenting proposals in pink pantaloons promenade passively in perfect parallel proximity past Point Park. Paisley.
These are 3.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
Forget you and your candy buying monies.
Anybody want some candy? Anybody want some?
Is it written out?
No.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have a
I'll
pass
find
out
it.
thing.
We can have a contest after this. I used the word prostitute. Pop culture prostitutes permeating the Aryan allied airwaves reduce repeatedly our beaten battered brains with worthless wants for material mayhem. This life is for losers. Nature's intellectually neutered nincompoops tricked by tenaciously taunting media into meandering around trying to acquire trinkets of shiny status. Never really realizing the reality of it all, the true and full futility of an ever-adapting anthropod. Master of mammals and pinnacle of progress, perched atop the food chain, devouring the competition without cognition of consequence. Before the beast of man was born, life existed to exist and recycle the cycle forever. Now it is existing to be eaten out of a bucket by a balding man in an easy chair.
Would. I mean, there's a lot of
Way shorter than I. Firstly, I lost my bandana. It was in the back pocket, but now it's not. I went up the bathroom and I stood about there for 3 minutes. When I realized it was gone, I thought it was here, and it's not. If you come across it. It's black, it's a bandana, you know, like a piece of cloth, and you usually go, oh, 'cause I'm a big guy. That one right there.
You're a magician, aren't you?
I hate you guys.
Where's Candy?
This is called Poetry Won't Pay the Bills. Can I have that back, please? I could do this all night.
Wine? Yeah, wine.
Alright, we call our words bad, so others will call it good. Laughing, sighing, cracking jokes. Later it's on the parties where it's the same, but less angst and more camaraderie. After stars burn out, we light our souls, pining home alone, scrawling, scratching, ripping, writing. Hours of self-examination abuse. We call family friends brothers. Our back alley home, I don't know how to emphasize. Like the way I wrote it, I want to go, da-da-da-da-da-da. But it comes out like... Sorry. Oh yeah. Our back alley homemade patchwork crews. We run streets at night throwing bottles, spray painting, collecting stories to throw in our notebooks, journals, emails, just so we can tell everyone that they're bad.
You're much shorter than me. Wait, you're after me, aren't you? So it works out for you, not you. Who cares? You notice we all laughed when she said the fall off roof thing? It's because our friend died off the roof and we were that cynical. We like that. No, he survived. He's a titanium leg. He looks like a robot. Yeah, he's like RoboCop minus the gun or, the headpiece. Nothing like that. Yeah, or half dead. Alright. This is actually a confronting thing is about Jason, but it's just I've done some on my writing's really weird, and this is like the normalest poem out of the weird series, okay? So bear with me. You can thank me later for all of the things that I did for you that you didn't notice. You can thank me later for all the times that I did not fight back when you were drunk. You can thank me later for that time we were playing Twister and you fell and I didn't count it. You can thank me later for that time that you ate the pie that I was going to give my grandma who was sick and dying. and then blow your face away with my shotgun. For all these things and more, don't worry about them because you can thank me later. She died. Without a pie, so.
Sick people pie. You're like, hey, you're on death's door. Blueberry.
No, it's
We got an hour to go, so enjoy it. Good night. Nice Christmas. Thanks for putting up with us.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so taken aback. Yeah. Can I have $1?
That's $1.
So I'm gonna try to get
Paisley Pixies plus 5 times, right? And I once I mess up, and I 5 times in a row. Paisley Pixies plus perverted prostitutes. Okay. Paisley Pixies plus perverted prostitutes presenting proposals in pink pantaloons promenade passively in perfect parallel proximity past Point Park. Paisley Pixies plus perverted prostitutes dating positively. You didn't write it very clearly.
Blame it on him, we all do.
Alright, it's called Ready, Set, Go. Simon said Simon too, like Lao Tzu, tried to walk out on beasts below his breeding. Leading none of them once he'd salvaged the savaged first thought of God, his cruelly embodied lover, at last located to travel away with him and forget the indignities of tear for mercy of the demiurge. Simon too tried to disappear, but was halted by a vision of hungry wolves, sent to steal him from peace for those pieces of gnosis he refused to repeat. In short, he too was compelled to tell those still in hell a bit more to appease the dogs of an unquiet heart. The war, should you be unable to object, is between the players and the observers, the movers and the shakers, the apparent messages in between the lines that twists the mind under that mirror which no sane man can break. So he will not stay behind on his pleasures to save slaves to selfish concerns from returning to that which burns them. But Simon said, beware of the battle between the normal, the sane, the decent, the cool, the moral, the appropriate, the acceptable, the steaming millions of an ironclad mean versus your freedom. Allow none of these to oppress you, but beware those who depress you by the slavers screaming 1 to 6.4 billion odds in their favor, because even if your fellow slaves' dreams were owned by the Dark Defamation League, never believe them when they claim to own heaven. My doctrine derives its force from the lucubrations of magicians and poets, intuits who know it and show it to my enemies, put in places far from me an automatated military to complement the rest of the robots I abandoned. Please, don't follow me if you can find me, because I'll be standing on the dock of Alamont, reminded of the sounds of battle set to set sail for private pirate utopias alone. For pray, why would I stay to throw the gods of war a bone?
there, the corner of what, Murray and Forbes. That's where the library is.
That's right.
This poem is called On Second Thought, Give That Back. And it's right here. I want it all. My innocence, my confidence, everything woman that this parasite society has eaten out of me. Belief in magic, belief in an unaffiliated God, belief that humankind will become a star to guide the future, not a catalyst to its destruction. So take back your cynicism and send me and my ruby slivers back to Oz. You can have your makeup and your cosmopolitan ideals. You can keep the job I'm getting paid less for. 75 cents to every dollar. Has the ratio gotten smaller? You can have your right-wing Republicans and your dismal statistics and your high heels and your selective constitution, and I'll pile my tight clothes and my flattened dreams at your spit-shine shoes, and I'll run naked and light-shouldered and loving through a field at the edge of a place spinning in its own orbit around a much brighter star.
I swear to God, I read this at every poetry reading I've ever.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Run on Central for Pittsburgh Saturday night. The clean version, which is going to be interesting. All right.
Don't mess up, though. I'm warning you.
So I sit there, starting my panel episode, because I know no better way to begin a story. Under the lights of Eden Park, as Shannon would undoubtedly remind me, the place where smiles go to. I can't recall whether they're fluorescent lights or not. Eden Park just isn't the kind of place you can remember solid details about it. People inside the important, the place itself never. Listen, this one time we were in Eden Park, it was me and him and Tim and a couple of other people. I don't know. It was probably Matt and Ray. And we knelt like all the way to the and all of our free time there. And we brought up a Sunday we did messed up. And Kieran sent it over to a table full of like alternative kids who have been looking at us all day, just for the waiter to walk over and say nothing, point out to our table, or I don't know, and set it down in the center of the table among like 6 people, just walk away over from us. And they spent the entire night there while we were sitting there. We outlasted them, of course, because we did nothing more than hang out for that time. Looking from the Sunday to us. Sunday to us, Sunday, but that sort of thing actually
poison.
So I sit there stirring my coffee. Well, actually, that's a lie. I hate coffee, but damn, it sounds poetic to start a piece of prose stirring a cup of coffee. Stirring the ice in your cherry coke just isn't as well, you know. So I sit there stirring my coffee, and she says temperamental and smiles at me, but I don't know what that means, so I just go back to the check. The check, I know, is on its way because just between you and me, the service here is getting really terrible because everyone's tired of serving loud, annoying ravers. Not that I'm a loud, annoying raver, but still, I'm just a kid, 18 years old, not as I wrote this, but definitely as I'm reading this now. And I get abused like all the other 18-year-old kids. Now, again, wondering what temperamental could mean. The waiter slips the check from his apron onto the table, not even a here, or a thank you, or a temperamental, whatever it means, and walks away. Well, this sucks, I think. It sucks, I say to no one in particular, and slide out. And the weird, possibly fluorescent lights. Cross over the smoking section, going on the front. And through the lobby, if you call that a lobby. Past the old people staring at me, and past the loud, annoying ravers, and of all things, salad bar, and into the bathroom. Somehow my boots stay echoing linoleum, and I don't know how this is possible, but I find myself in front of porcelain, you know the rest. And I leave the bathroom, not bothering to wash my hands, because I'm disgusting that way, and I pick up a cracker from the salad bar, because I'm disgusting that way. And after eons, I find my way back to the seat, and her face is pressed against the glass, staring out. For all I know, she could be sleeping. And I kind of like that idea that she could be sleeping, and I touch her shoulder as if to wake her, because for all I know, she could be sleeping. She smiles at me, and she says, temperamental. So I repeat it, temperamental, I say. Not that it makes any more sense to me than it did earlier, whatever it means. So I sit down and turn over the check. There's a word I can't read and I don't know what to fill in with. It sucks, I mumble. Because I'm unemployed and I somehow bought 5 people drinks, so I count on my change to pay the check, and then, just then, the ass is changed.
Doesn't tell the word.
Yeah, when he came up to reading and after he read it, I was like, what does that mean?
You jumped out the building? Yeah.
I'm looking for a dictionary. Tetris.
I'm gonna try the tongue twister.
All right.
Paisley's Paisley Pixies plus preferred prostitutes One more time. Paisley Pixies plus perverted prostitutes presenting proposals in pink pantaloons promenade passively in perfect proximity past Point Park. Oh, well then you wrote it down here. I'll fix it. Paisley Pixies plus perverted prostitutes presenting proposals in pink pantaloons promenade passively in parallel proximity past Point Park. Paisley Pixies. Okay.
I feel like I'm judging something.
You don't say.
I'm going to read my ice cream cone, and I'm sorry for having misheard it far too many times. Yeah.
I haven't heard it.
Hey,
I haven't heard it.
Yes, you have. I've heard it in every one of
Cameraman,
these.
don't talk. That's no credit. No.
19 and waiting for the sun to set. I ate ice cream every night in the summer, liking the way it rolled over my fingers when I lost my concentration, liking the way the memories rolled with it. Sticky sweet childhood when I was 3 and my father fed me spoonfuls that would smear themselves across my cheeks. I was still new and novel and he didn't mind wiping it away. Daddy's little girl and he had built the world of planted pumpkins in the road, Cabbage Patch doll parties and eating ice cream off his spoon. Time never stops for long and he was someone else. Smuggling bowls of ice cream to the closet, I tried not to hear the terror through the walls, wishing myself away to where I didn't need to play divorce court anymore. And simple as that, Daddy became a weekend word, a phantom that existed between Friday and Monday, passing the years with a vague sense of separation until I was 6 and he told me the bridge we'd walk across hit quicksand, holding me up by my shoulders, telling me he'd throw me in if I was bad. And I always believed I was bad. Summers got hotter as he left and I kept coming, too young to understand it didn't matter how far I followed him. 7 when he threw away my toys and said the movie men had lost them, as we transferred our sadistic ritual to Puerto Rican shores. He taught me to swim, throwing dinner in the deep end, saying I'd have to die for it. I got ice cream in a stolen car. He was too drunk to notice it was missing, too drunk to remember he gave me the keys, and I was far too young to drive. 3 months a year of guaranteed invisibility taught me to be tough, taught me to feel the ocean at 3 a.m., taught me to climb roofs, jump fences, and walk away from cops with automatic weapons. I learned to sneak in after the sun was up, but before he was. To cliff dive, to hide first kisses so there could be a chance for a second. I saw Twister every night for a week so I wouldn't have to put him to bed. He was hard to carry and I didn't understand when he called me Mommy. Once a year he'd speak to me in slurred syllables telling me my future. I said I wanted to be a writer. He said I'd starve. I said I wanted to be an astronomer. He said I was too stupid. I said I wanted to be an actress. He said I'd never make it. One conversation a year being torn to my base, a raw child still huddled in the closet of his disillusionment. Next time, I'll tell him I want to be an alcoholic.
I know.
You know, dramatic, the cry, like, oh, ice cream, I like ice cream. I don't now. Thanks.
That's what I pay for.
Oh, I love the studio.
Oh, you're like a Mormon.
The Mormons don't exist. They're like Eskimos in the Holocaust.
No, those are...
None of them's got 100.
Yeah, 9 on them? That was almost flipped one out.
6 short poems. 1. I won't add one more line. Read everything oddly, arcane words scrawled on cement parchments, mean poetry, not the rest. I'm colorblind, so my coffee is green. 2. Step races again, torment on phone, other end filled with tears. I sit in my car in the front of someone's driveway, and I think they want me to leave. 3. Cops love Levy. I spent tonight reading D.A. Levy, and 2 cops came into the coffee shop. I almost burned the place down, but Nikki was with me, and although she plays with my fire, I didn't want to burn her. 4. Love Poem, 1326. Love changes everything and attempts to rectify all but one. Thus I laugh, insisting I still flip that one cigarette. 5. Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a horrible town, and I hate myself for staying here. This is not my home, but a hollow box, trapping me inside without relent. Everything I love is here. 6. Chautauqua Institute. The only thing a spider knows is true violence. I watched one murder and eat a fly in a ship bathroom at the Chautauqua Institute. All the while, my penis was out, and I pissed all over the seat.
Why do you want to hate Pittsburgh? You love everything. You're thinking of someone else, brother. I know. I was going with that. We've heard What? I'll try to try.
Okay. I don't know which one to read. I have this love poem, and then I have this poem that I like about a dog. Which one should I read? Dog poem?
Is it about dog?
No, it's about me, but it's... No. It's about my feelings through a dog. Okay? Spot runs. No, this is called C Spot Run. C Spot Run. Spot runs. But Spot's a girl. Okay.
Oh, you ruined it for us. I'm totally lost.
Let's start. I'm gonna read this poem. It's called C Spot Run. As a girl. Spot runs. Spot sees dirt floors and pees where former pee has been laid. Spot lifts one shaky leg. My dog's a girl and she lifts her leg when she goes to the bathroom. Okay, so just bear with me.
This is the weirdest written poem ever.
Spot lifts one shaky leg and pants, her tongue hanging low and pink, the tongue peeing along with her urethra. The leg is lowered, but the tongue still hangs. Spot tips her tail from one side to the next in glee, swirling in a circle on the kitchen table, her backside vibrating endlessly to and fro, providing muscular exhibition for her tail. Spot loves him. Spot wags with her spittle, water falling from her chin. Spot's happiness is an enigma. It comes from nowhere, it ends in no time. It had no origin. It has no limits or limitations or reason. I wish I was Spot.
You lift the leg to pee, the dog done. What kind of crazy incident is this?
This place right here has ghosts.
There's wolves right over there. Oh yeah, ghosts right there. Yeah, $26. That's $1,000. Yeah, see, here you go.
Okay, you're looking at a man that's just stopped trying.
$30. That's all. Stand on it.
All out.
Yeah.
Or I purchase it with my shoes.
2 pennies.
I do actually take note of conversation sometime, word for word, and no one here is going to hear themselves. So. This is someone on the internet. 2 someones. Sorry, I just had brain surgery the other day. Oh yeah? What part did they remove? The part that causes depression. That's a lot of brain. Mostly I got numbness now, and some double vision. So things look twice as bad, only you can't feel to feel it. You some kind of joker? No.
That was the greatest thing.
Okay, so that's
Past 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's good enough. I'm stopping on that.
So, twice as bad, or double vision, and numbness. Wait, you caught people on the internet? There are those things called chapter notes, and you can watch There is text on the internet, people. I was... You don't say.
It's called Lemons from Persephone, and Renee's the only one who's read this. Corners have ceased to scare me with their boxed-in ideas and tears and curves, made to confuse the mind into a jumble of stars so far away that the light could just be pebbles scattered on an alien blue tarpaulin stretched tight above. No cracks for feeling to slip through and secretly nourish Persephone in springtime. Framing her picture on the wall, someone no one ever knew and everybody loved with the drugstore passion that makes hairnets available for only 99 cents, and Band-Aids for $1.50 on a shelf cleaned once a week with soap, and the rest of the time with lemonade. It's that sweet lemon smell of summer that attracts customers, you know. It's school products and neon lights that don't let you think, which will drag you in with all your clothes on, and tie your shoelaces together with sticky fingers, leaving lollipop stains on oak and mahogany tabletops that haven't seen water as long as they've lived for fear they'd get addicted. And all I can do is watch Persephone brush her hair in the dark, untouchable like she's on television, searching for the triumph between the chaser and the chased, haunted by the chasm between the common and the unknown, pausing only periodically to wonder at the corner she finds herself in, rancid and stinking with other people's ideas, and somehow circling.
The monkey likes it. Ah, there you go. The monkey approved it.
I thought that was kind of funny when you were reading, and I looked around at everybody, and it's pretty motley crew. And then there's that beautiful laugh from the side.
It's cute.
Buy books. Buy big books.
Buy both. Oh my gosh.
There's really good transmitters all over the store that emit these microwaves, and all you hear is in the back of your head.
This is God speaking. You want to buy the new Harry Potter book, don't you?
Wait, this isn't it.
Why is going to ruin everything?
Die of cancer and shut your mouth. Cut off? Never! That would be insane! Insane to think someone would say, don't drink. Anymore there is. Anymore that is. There are two kinds of anarchy. Drunk punk anarchy and snobby perfect world anarchy. Government is fake as a slave driver saying please. Democracy doesn't exist. Republics disguised as communism keep us in change. And I hate TV as much as jocks hate books. Whoa, bang! Eat crap and die, says Tom Brokaw, as Connie Chung calmly informs you that everybody will soon die of cancer. Cancer? Cancer? Is it cell mutation without inhibition? Or a body with such an ego that it refuses to stop growing? To stop growing? To stop getting bigger? Tumors are as fashionable as tattoos these days. Wouldn't you know it? Disney just bought them.
This isn't worth. We got two things here.
They're both typed. This one's... Which one? I don't know.
I like that one right there.
You like this one? See, I like this one too because it looks like a grocery list.
I like how
I try to stay by the mic when like you couldn't hear me if I went there. All right, but there's a good thing this one because it doesn't make any sense. Because I don't know why. What? It starts one thing, goes something else, comes back to a different thing, and then goes around. It's called 8/16/2001, and there's no 1 on the typewriter I bought off Artpad, so I have to write. No, I wrote the word 1. And the 6. Since there's no 1, I had to write out 16 too. Or put ones on one typewriter.
Yeah, with a cigarette.
But I wrote 1. Thousand Night Suicide Man, life scripted by Bukowski, swinging low, rotting flesh wind chime, decaying time man. They drift by, the Kerouacs, the Ginsberg, the Rimbaughs, and Cassidy clones. Draining me of thought, rather, Cassidy clones, sorry, Kerouac. Draining me of thought, hollowing me out with fast talk about souls, karma, and zen. Quiet. Can you hear that? The evolution, the fast rap, the slow burn, those plagues getting stronger, humanity's plague evolving, idea-filled disease. Our existence is peak. We have our blueprints, the downfall, the takeover. Just like the Black Plague, used up and broken. No one to infect, no one to attack. We vaccinated ourselves with abortions, with guns, with counterculture, freedom. Dying dead culture, nothing left except concrete and bullet shells. No other proof of life. Our disconnected roots. This isn't my idea of a dignified exit. We need more gunshot poetry, drive-by life art imitations, sidewalk chalk love songs, desperate choking Zen masters, elevated past drunken mind states, taking in teachings, exhaling experience. Can't turn thoughts off, can't look away, turn me off, let me swing, let me swing, let me fall, let me crash, let me, signal lost.
Wait, veteran. Not you.
Right, here I am again. Again I am. That's the only line I know.
Walk alone.
Yeah, this is like one of the only poems that actually it's inspired by something. Is Ray wanted to shoot me once. Yeah, shoot me in the face. It's better. Okay, but this is about Ray and his deep-rooted hatred towards me. Alright. Everyone hates kicking. Okay. Oh, where'd that go? Ray, why do you hate me? I'm the origami and Play-Doh llamas. You should just give me a hug and become a pacifist. You shouldn't aim rusty spoons at my face or have visions of dancing on my cold, dead body. To me, it seems that if you ever wrote a horror novel, I would be the only one that dies. Not just once, 30 people would die. All me.
Only like chicken. No fat. Corn. You do.
And the texture of chicken.
Get her last.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I have to apologize to everyone who's heard all of this before. I haven't written anything new. This is called The Blood is the Life. He walks the club until somebody at last moves his blood. By some secret human science, maybe sacred geometry, blood knowing what shape it desires. Not just flavors of spirit and vitality, not only temperature and temperament and tiger smell, but forms from a lifetime of pulsing sculpture. Human shapes blood pressured into glowing eyes, overwarmed skin machines. He breathes her in, beginning to match her pulse and respiration, and by the time he exhales, he has become her under his skin, and under hers she feels his theft. She talks to him as if she cares without realizing it's all her blood, awake and disturbed at being two places at once. unmingled only for now. He leaves with his tantrika after a handful of suggestion, as their veins exchange rhythmic words in blood's silent tongue, underspoken invitations to alchemize and unestrange, two liquid lines of life twisted together with the tantra's gentle discipline, and a love that knows no names and is unbound to last forever, as time stops and starts again, just to note the anomaly. After the fourth time of almost giving up the torture, he extends an invitation to ascend to Earth too, to slip into that secret dimension so Eden-like its ironic sex is the only passport to get them there. He tells her about the others there, naked directors of the Durgajala Dharma, where a tantric priest class, under the most skilled dominatrix in the Matrix, has perfected sex magic to combat proficiency, an irresistibly efficient intimacy that curls toes and raises erections with a simple mental interjection, defeating their enemies as they drop their heaters in heat, clutching their crotches in confusion, turned from busting heads to knocking boots. All they need, lover, is a love glove and time to turn you on and into one of them, he exclaims, ecstatic as he spins her tales of troubadour warfare. Sold, she holds him as they yoke together in cosmic egg, begging for the speed to reach escape velocity, and suddenly Kundalini catapults the seekers into the breach as they reach a new earth together.
Turn my head and then there's like a loud clap. I'm gonna put that. Good breathing.
We have big stick for things like
I like how we all come here. They're always like sitting around this.
Yeah, no one likes us.
I've noticed.
Half of us don't even like each other.
Yeah, I know.
Sure, it's true. We can try and get them over here. Shall we try to guilt trip them into being here? Hey, people, buying books? We've got like live poetry right here. Even you people up in the poetry section who are appreciating poetry should be down here appreciating it live because we're here and we're live and you should be hearing this.
Yeah, way to screw everything up, guys.
We're gonna go home and you'll be lonely.
Only forever without us.
You should pity us. This
You're
was,
missing your chance.
Make a wish.
Do we? Hey, where's Wendell? He said he was coming. Did he come? Cool. Alright, I have the driving in the rain one, and I have the you really don't like me like you think you do one.
No, we don't.
Driving in the rain.
Driving in the rain? Okay. Driving home with the windows all the way down in the sheets of rain. Afraid to go the speed limit and afraid to go too slow. This is what we are now. You look at me like you're going to rape me. Your fingertips glide over my ribcage and they are cold, cold. We stand in your doorway too close to touch, each of us wanting something more, something different, something else. And when I pause in my car to change CDs, I look up and you aren't watching from the doorway anymore. And I back out of your driveway, taunted by the impulse to hit your mailbox in your pristine bushes. We used to be so beautiful. It reminded me of Gaia and Uranus, stars and Earth creating the universe. We'd look out and see rain, and we would go playing, and it's pouring now, line driven by the irregular rhythm of the windshield wipers, chanting aloud to an indigenous rhythm, trying to transcend the mechanical metronome. But I can taste the addiction behind my tongue. Underneath the scent of America, of wet highway, I can smell it, and I wonder, am I defining my identity by the process of elimination? I feel out of sorts, out of context, out of mind, out of place, but I can't remember how I usually act, and I don't want to go back. And look at what I have become. You looked at me, your eyes were sharp shadows, and I try to erase them, looking at the leaves dance their wild salsa, gyrating and swaying into each other. Their peace like the waving of a sea anemone in the ocean, the graceful tangle of Ophelia's hair in the stream. Mine. With the windows all the way down, and when I look in the mirror, my reflection doesn't recognize me. She says that my soul is carved from my body like a jack-o'-lantern, and now I am a morbid grin and pointy teeth. But I look from my reflection to the wild spinning leaves, and I say, it is raining outside, and I will go dance.
Well, like me. You better. Oh, wait.
Anyway, yeah, this is something else I've read to a number of years ago. And,
You shouldn't have read it. No one's paying attention to us anyway.
people up there, some of these people have heard this before.
Good thing you haven't.
Anyway.
You're not coming down, are you?
No, they're all fine.
Dude, there's something in history every time.
Anyway.
Yeah, but
All right. I still prefer beer to marijuana because marijuana causes us introspective thought that intensifies your emotion and makes you think, takes away your ability to speak in confident fashion. So you can't think of the words to say to make that girl who looks like she's crying smile. Just smile, because it may seem petty, but I think anyone who looks that good it should be illegal to feel that. Alcohol, on the other hand, numbs your brain. When I found this out, I thought, wow, that's the best news I've heard in years. Imagine that. Manic depressive prefers depressants, but you don't think. You really don't care about anything. And as long as you keep me away from the stereo, I'll be fine. And if I'm not fine, I'll take another shot. And that's too much, but it's not. Anyway, and I've been walking backwards for too long, and I can see all my steps and all the people behind me, and I've walked with or been walked on by, and I can see them all with perfect clarity, which is fine. It's kind of depressing when you see everything coming at you, and when you get there, it's exactly as predicted. I've been walking backwards for too long, and I can see all my steps and all the people behind me, and I've walked with or been walked on by, and I can see them all with perfect clarity, which is fine. I could use the future coming up and biting me in the ass every once in a while, because it's been a long time since I've had a surprise. Maybe, possibly, I'll walk in the track. I love that. Okay. I'll do that on my fourth.
What? Cheeseburger. Nothing. How about my fourth?
Bad decision.
Back one with it. I'm sorry.
London Bridge is falling down, collapsing in on the walls of reality. Can you hear it, Lord? Can you hear it, Savior? They are screaming your names in the burning synagogues. They are crying for your outstretched hand, and now I am on the looking glass, Buddha. I am on the wheel of time. Can you hear me, Alan? Can you hear me? Jesus Christ, it's gone now. Lost in the oblivion of drifting brown water and rusted baby carriages. But where have all the children gone? Come under the stars. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Someone spilled ground and it's everywhere. Oh, God. Who are you now when it all falls into a tired, sad, eternal moment? It's only insanity. What are you so afraid of? Maybe that you'll be like me, that you forget your khakis and your bank account on Fifth Avenue and a dirty trench coat and forged insurance policy that only keeps you a little longer from his hand. It's all right, Cully. Your spells aren't forgotten. Don't cry, Aphrodite. Your passion will pull through. Hold me, Holy Father. I won't question your hate. It's only understandable that you let us perish in dirty alleyways that screech our pain etched out in the unbroken glare of your children's dying eyes. It's only fair that you let us fall reeking of excrement into this desperate landfill kingdom of Gaia. Who could ask for anything more? Are you bitter, Brahma? Now that your praises fall short of the tangible, disappear behind the physical, get lost in the incomprehensible clutter of the green worship of our advertisement Lord and Savior? Are you angry, Jehovah? Are you tired of witnessing our sacrilege? Sundays now belong to the whitewashed walls and squeaky clean identity of the shopping malls. And the children in the candy store look so tired. Have they called out to you, O Isis? Did they scream your name when the monster under the bed called out to reveal their father's face? Did you hear them break? Did you care to stretch out that infinite wisdom which you claim to reclaim under the expanding hellish heaven we can't hope for anymore? We never asked for eternity. Only one moment in infinity to call our own. So why, Zeus? Why have you torn the poets of my generation from their burning minds and left them to suffocate in your burning world? Holy, holy, holy Ghost, did you send your only son to die in the cold stone steps of the elementary school? Or was crucifixion just too good for us? Did you command that your children be cut down in the echoing hallway of corporate America? Are your followers waiting in riot gear for us to proclaim our destiny? Have you sold your soul for $40 and a handful of magic beans? Or maybe just 30 seconds of airtime? We have sacrificed ourselves for your sins, screaming sacred litany on the stone steps of crumbling cathedrals. And where were you when the sky collapsed, when the palms of our hands bled black and blue, and we only prayed for insanity inside our 7 deadly sins?
Scholar. I'm gonna kind of funny.
These are important. Short little poem I wrote for a friend of mine on smelling perfume. It's a short poem.
Oh, hard to read, is it?
Just a little bit.
Sorry.
Eyes closed, enticed as my other sense become, twitching me around inside memory's shadowed light, a camera obscura, complete deprivation of all but one, the insistent shift in my sense of smell, adroit at take-backs to walk down steps, beds, basements, extreme kisses and body wraps of my arms, buried deep in the neck, hair, wrist, drowning out the feelings powered by sex and intercourse, and I smell that.
Completely. My point of view is walk, like you like this far away from his head. That was so funny. Ever.
I'll wait till you guys are quiet. Sorry, I sound like a teacher. Okay, this is called Coffee Shop. Coffee Shop. There's just something about them. Maybe it's the foam and the milk. Yeah, it's probably the milk. I'm drinking it a lot now. I love milk. I had such a good taste of it today with lunch. Man, it's gotta be the milk. They're putting something in my milk to make me feel this way. Frothy, pure, unadulterated, floating doves of virginal milk. Yeah, Maggie's in love. No, she's not. Well, she is, but she isn't. Well, she won't be for long. She loves music. I'm writing a song on the piano, so I've only had one lesson and I've practiced for 2 hours. I'm still writing a masterpiece, inspired by milk. Back to milk, my metaphorical invitation. It's just that he puts it so symmetrically in my glass when I order, and when I'm done, the remnants just cling on shards, melting back into their original scientific state of liquid cow. Man, he makes them hang like baskets in a garden, overflowing grateful vineyards of falling baskets. Baskets on chains, baskets with green ambrosia and ambrosia. Something with a delicious flavor or fragrance. I gotta write down the definition or I'll forget. Linking down each other around my view. I tear a piece off. Yum. It's good. Goodness, great, filling, nourishing, satiating, overwhelming. Milk down my throat. It's sticky, sticking. I can't get him off my skin. Well. So it's essential that we partake. But I haven't drunken it in so long, and it took me a while to digest it at first. Well, now I'm used to it. Somewhat, but after so long of abstinence from milk. Well, it wasn't very well fed. That's the real reason. No one to take it from. Well, maybe I'm guessing too quick. Maybe after a soon while, I won't like it as much, but right now it tastes so good. Yes, good. That's him. That's all he is. Good. His hair is milk. It's the color of snow after a wind drives out the impurities, and what is left hasn't been touched by anything human. He hasn't been touched by anything human. Milk. I haven't touched it in so long, and that's what makes it him so good. Zygotony. A word I made up that I can't define. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be exclusive, but he's so undefined. He makes milk frothy and moist and volatile, and the shop steams up, sealing it when he enters the door, and he serrates my cup with his teeth. With my teeth. My own teeth that I grit when I'm embarrassed that he smiles. He never looks away. I look away, but he never does. He's so sure of himself, and his hair is milk again. Milk. White. Angel food, marshmallow, watercolor, paper tips of your French manicure, vanilla ice cream, ivory, sheep wool white. You are white like a maid's skirt, ironing a tuxedo shirt. You are white like an old man's beard, rubbing and plucking out the shriveling hairs, them so thin that they don't reach the floor before they dissipate into non-existent purgatory. You are white as the Dalmatian's contrast between spots and skin. You are the negative space, the domino with no dots, the paper with no writing, the canvas before I painted you. You're not ethnical, no.
This is library
in Squirrel Hill called the Carnegie. Perhaps you've heard of it.
Wait. Don't they film,
You can see this again and take part in it and share stuff and talk about things and people talking about stuff they wrote.
Yeah, we're gonna see
On Friday nights at 6 o'clock. At the corner of Forbes and Murray. Some of you might be familiar with the term moving Bronco, right? You've heard of that, right? It's one of those things that shifts to the location every time. You never know exactly where it is. That doesn't have any real connection to Friday night, but it might, right? It really might.
I just came up here to talk onto the mic. The audience missed the show or my birthday party last night. Just Tisk. Yeah, that was a jaunt.